Hello everyone. I am Monica Verma and our subject expert is Simrat Gulati, and she has been an advertising professional for nearly 2 decades. We have seen so many aspects of advertising and tried to make sense of a lot of things happening around us. To continue this process, we are going to look at another dimension today. We move into another area dealing with public service and welfare of society and people, and how formal management processes are used for this aspect. Most advertisements seem to be selling us something, be it a product or a service, and we are able to understand the purpose of the advertisement very well. But then we also get to see messages that don't seem to have anything tangible to offer to us and are promoting ideas and thoughts only. Added to this, what is seen is that ideas and products promoted have no commercial value per se for the people pushing it forward. Yes, they are of immense use to the user or the target market. We wonder what is their aim and what do they want to achieve? Who wants to send such messages that benefit the audience but do little for the sender? At times, they seem to be announcing things that are very useful and of relevance to the audience, but at the face of it, of no real value as a business. So, this is the situation we have to understand and answer the many questions and doubts that arise in the mind. What we see is that we are moving out of the commercial realm and need to explore areas beyond the usual. Talking about issues that are of benefit to the public at large and of less value to the promoters is the area of social marketing and advertising. Strategies that benefit the people, that is, for social welfare. What is this social marketing? The formal definition first. Social marketing is the practice of utilizing the philosophy, tools, and practices of commercial marketing for health or social programs. What we are trying to do is to use the methods of commercial marketing in social causes or issues. The 4 P's of marketing, product, price, place, promotion, are planned out in the same way it is done for marketing, but the objective is different. We are not selling anything tangible or a service of value to the target people, but are rather trying to bring about a change in the behavior or thinking of the people. This change will benefit the people eventually. Social marketing sells a behavior change to a targeted audience. This could be to accept a new behavior, reject a potential behavior, modify a current behavior, abandon an old behavior.
Well, to understand what social marketing is all about, now this is something which is a very emergent concept in the present social context. Now, social marketing is the practice of utilizing the philosophy, the tools and the practice of the commercial marketing to address the social issues. Social issues could be related to health, education, environment, or maybe to social problems like alcoholism, like illiteracy, like smoking. So for all these things, what one really needs to use is that how media can be used to reach to a larger section of population and maybe indulge in something which is very important, and that is changing the behavior and changing the attitude of the people towards certain social issues. Now, when we talk about social marketing, there are something which is very important to understand, and that is what is the objective of social marketing. Now, the objective of social marketing could be divided into 4 things. The first one is that we have to accept a new behavior. social marketing helps the individuals or the larger masses to accept new behavior. For example, when we talk about saving the environment or maybe saving the trees, a new concept is that if we are going to encourage for e-billing rather than getting a hard copy of a bill, that's something where we are saving the paper, or not printing the mails which we really don't require. Now these are the kind of things. Or maybe even when we go for a railway ticket, we say that we go for an e-ticket rather than printing the ticket, because wherever we cut down the paper, we are saving the trees, which is ultimately going to save the environment. That is something which is accepting a new behavior. We were not used to that kind of a behavior, but this is something which we are encouraging people to do. The next important objective of social marketing is rejecting a potential behavior. Now, what is this potential behavior? We all are prone to habits like smoking. Now, smoking is something which is not something which is a social problem, but then definitely smoking in the public places is harmful for the larger people who are around there, because passive smoking results into malignancy, into growth of cancerous tissues in other individuals also. So here one really has to see that how to discourage smoking in the public places. Now, although there is a ban on smoking in the public places, but it hardly makes a difference, because what is required is changing the attitude of the individuals towards and sensitizing them towards such an issue like smoking. Now, social marketing really helps to reach out to the people and bring a change in their behavior and in their attitude. The third objective of social marketing is modifying a current behavior. Now, the example for this is that when we fall ill and go to the doctor for a medication, the doctor recommends a medication for 10 days, but maybe after 3 days, the moment we start feeling better, we stop the medication. Now, that results into relapse of the disease again. If we take an example of tuberculosis, in tuberculosis the medication is meant to be taken for 6 months, and if we stop that medication after 1 month or 2 months, again there is a relapse. Now, the problem is that our basic attitude is not positive towards using the right health practices, and here we need to modify that behavior, and attitude has to be changed. So basically social marketing is targeting the attitude of the individuals so that they in the long run benefit and their life improves. And the last objective of social marketing is abandon an old behavior, and the best example for this is the drunken driving. We always feel confident even after consuming alcohol that nothing will happen, the steering will be in my control, but then this is something which has to be discouraged, and it is the media which best portrays this kind of a attitude to people, that how their a particular behavior, maybe driving after using alcohol, is going to be harmful for the larger society. So by and large, social marketing is basically strategizing to reach out to the larger sections of the society and targeting their faulty behavior or attitude, or maybe even sometimes trying to promote a new behavior which is going to encourage the good behavior in the social context.
All this sounds a bit complicated, so let us look at examples and work our way from there onwards. We see advertisements for a clean and green environment. There are companies promoting the idea of saving paper by asking for your bills via email. Airlines and railways discouraging everyone from taking printouts of tickets and rather using the SMS service for your ticket PNR numbers. Just one way to save paper and thus save the environment. Companies asking you to exchange your old mobiles for new one and disposing the old ones in a responsible way, again to save and protect the environment. Messages for diseases like AIDS, cancer, iodine deficiency, TB, the list is long. The aim of all these programs is to achieve something much larger than just selling something or an immediate gain for the giver of the message. They are trying to bring about a change in the thinking of the people which would finally benefit society or the world at large. The program encouraging you to wear a seat belt while driving a four-wheeler aims at getting the public to accept a new behavior. So the advertisements and the system of fines or penalties are all planned to achieve this end. Messages and warnings about the bad and harmful effects of smoking or the ones related to not talking on the mobile while driving are all getting the audience to reject a potential behavior. Advertisements educating people about tuberculosis and the need to continue with the medicines for the full 6 months duration for a final cure from TB is trying to modify the current behavior. It is seen that people tend to discontinue the medicine in a few months' time once the visible symptoms vanish, thinking that they are cured now. Whereas it is essential to take the medicines for the full 6 months duration to cure the disease from its root. The advertising campaign that deals with the issue of not driving after consuming alcohol or the messages educating and dissuading people from littering and dirtying their city are all asking the people in the target segment to give up or abandon the old behavior. Getting people to change their thinking or behavior is not so easy. This is challenging to do since change is voluntary. First, we cannot promise a direct benefit or immediate payback for a proposed behavior change. The benefits are not visible immediately in most cases, and convincing the people becomes a big task. Everything is so uncertain and undefined. Nothing may be visible, so how do we persuade people to change when no results can be seen by them? Secondly, change depends upon the individual, his mindset, and environmental conditioning. People have varying personalities and respond to new ideas in different ways. Some are very open to change and welcome it eagerly, while others are rigid and will not be receptive to anything different from their existing views. Also, there is inertia to move and shift from the present position. All this does not allow people to change. So, this is where the challenge lies, trying to get things done in the most adverse of conditions, getting people to improve their life and live better, but with the people themselves being the barrier to change. The planning and implementation has to be done to achieve this result. That is where the marketing planning framework comes in. We use this framework to implement our plans, monitor them, and then evaluate their effectiveness in just the same manner in which we do for any brand, product, or service. So, how do we go about it? Social marketing consists of the following steps: analyze the social marketing environment, select target audience and understand the target audience and the competition, set goals and objectives, determine strategies, P's, product, price, place, promotion, develop evaluation and monitoring strategy, establish budgets and find funding sources, implement the plan. Let's work this out with an example. A good one would be the polio program, since it's recent and one for which we see the plans implemented regularly. The program deals with eradicating the polio disease from India since this disease is harmful and a major share of the world polio cases are prevalent in India. It is a disease that permanently disables a person and in certain cases can be life-threatening. Also, it could be carried from one person to another. Once the infection is caught, then there is no cure for it, and the damage caused by the virus varies from person to person. Most importantly, there is a preventive available in the form of polio drops. These drops have to be administered to children under the age of 5 years at least 3 times, and this ensures a lifelong protection from the disease. So now, for the eradication of this disease, the big effort is to give these drops to the entire population of children under the age of 5 years. Therefore, our target audience is parents of children who are under the age of 5 years. There is a reluctance to take the polio drops as the results are not immediately visible. Also, there are some doubts about the side effects of the drops, and combined with rumors and misconceptions, people are not taking the drops regularly as required. The goal in this case is to convince people about the necessity of polio drops, ensure that they come with their children to get the drops, remind them about the availability of the drops, change their behavior where the people now make it a habit to take these drops regularly. So our product is actually the distribution of polio drops to the target audience. This includes the attribute that these drops need to be made available on a holiday, that is a Sunday, to everyone. Here, they have to be available to every Indian on the same day so that no one gets missed out. So the concept of Polio Ravivar. The price in this case becomes the cost to the parents for going to the booth to get the drops. To lower this cost, Sunday, which is a holiday for most people, is a suitable day to distribute these drops, and an additional arrangement is to go door to door in slums and such areas where people find it difficult to move out of the homes, or there is reluctance because of the bad weather or other commitments. Places the booth from where the drops are available. These have to be set up at all locations and also at places like railway stations and bus stands so as not to miss out on anybody who is on the move. Promotion deals with the messages for persuading the people about the drops and then to convince them to come to take the drops from the booth. For achieving this, celebrities like Amitabh Bachchan, who hold a lot of credibility and persuasion power with the Indian population, are used. Also, a lot of reminder messages about Polio Ravivar are used to fix the concept in the target audience's mind. A continuous evaluation of the program is done to see the effect of each step and stage of the plan. Medically, these drops need to be taken 3 times before the age of 5 years for preventing the disease. But that did not mean that we run the camp only 3 times a year, every year, to catch the target segment. Many people get missed out due to various reasons, so the first idea was to aim at giving the drop at least 5 times to every child before the age of 5, so that at least 3 of these doses would be effective. Next, what was discovered was that due to local weather conditions or other factors, people missed out even on these 5 camps in a year, and the program was not achieving its results. That is when it was decided to have 1 polio drop camp every month or 12 in a year all over India. This would overcome the effect of local conditions at various places, and and all India basis, the average rate of delivering the polio drops would be achieved. Added to that was the scheme of door to door distribution of the drops to deal with people who were reluctant to come or were unable to reach the booths or camps. All these steps were taken in stages in response to the monitoring and feedback received at each stage. Lastly is the stage of funding and sponsoring. The government was the promoter and funder of this cause, but it managed to get funding for the communication of this program from various corporate and TV channels. The messages were sponsored by Tatas and the various entertainment channels other than Doordarshan as part of the corporate social responsibility initiative. This was the complete marketing plan related to an issue. Many a time, there is no real product as such to be delivered, but it is only a mindset to be changed or a behavior to be addressed. There could be some barriers to adopting the new thought processes or certain hurdles in the implementation of the program. In such cases, the communication aspect becomes the most important, and the promotion that we see, be it messages in the mass media or through personal channels, are the ones we call public service advertising. Advertisements that serve a public cause and are meant to educate, inform, and change attitudes of the public. These messages are designed to convince and persuade people to give up their old ideas, to change their thinking, or take a fresh new look at concepts and ideas. That's the idea behind the HIV/AIDS messages that tell us about how this disease is not infectious and does not spread by touching or hugging. Another objective of a public service message is to inform and educate people about an issue or a cause. The messages that are about the consumer and his rights, all under the Jago Grahak Jago set of advertisements, fall into this category. Appropriate media and means of communication needs to be selected to make the right impact on the set of people. This could be through the standard mass media or using local and traditional media and means of communication. Since we are dealing with mindsets and behavior, we find that an important influence in convincing the target audience is through the word of mouth or the personal channels of communication. The conviction for such causes comes from sources that the target audience identifies with, actual people who have been involved with the cause or have been affected by it. Dependable people on whose advice or guidance one can rely upon. Popular public figures that have the power to influence and change the mindsets of the people. Thus, we use opinion leaders in promoting such causes. Popular public figures like social workers, celebrities, especially film and sports stars, political leaders, or real life persons. All are used to influence and bring about a change. Polio messages and TB messages are supported by popular film stars of yesteryears. They are like an advisory figure, and people depend on them for guidance and are credible sources of information and advice. Social activists spread the message about AIDS and HIV and how to deal with the disease and people affected with it. Sports stars, which are a very popular set of people with the Indian population, talk about driving rules and regulations like wearing a helmet on a two-wheeler or using a seat belt while driving a car. They make a tremendous impact on the ones towards whom the message is directed. These celebrities support the cause and achieve results as desired. They become an integral part of the social marketing program and are the ambassadors for the cause. Another kind of social marketing program that can be planned is related to new technologies. People are reluctant to change over to newer technologies as it means a lot of learning and effort. Also, technology scares people and they are uncomfortable to try it out or to adopt it. In such cases, the marketing program plans to introduce the new techniques to the proposed users and get them to experience it. This makes them comfortable with the new idea and the transition or changeover is easier. Good use of this has been made in rural areas and slums for promoting cleaner fuels for cooking like LPG, biogas, and solar cooking over their traditional methods. Demonstrations are shown and subsidized facilities provided so that the target people have an open mind and do not show any reluctance to change over. One LPG gas company sets up model kitchens in rural areas where the local population can come and use the facilities by paying a nominal charge. This is continued for a couple of weeks and then the kitchen moves on to another area. This first-hand experience with the new technology gets the people hooked on to the new idea and they then want to adopt it permanently, and so the objective is achieved. Other examples of this are where the idea of promoting the use of mobile phones to conduct classes in schools in remote areas is being shown, or the idea of using mobile numbers as a means of identity over surnames to overcome the caste system traditions is encouraged. By showing a perceived benefit and an improvement in lifestyle and standard, the company achieves its objective. This is how social marketing works and manages to achieve results. It has a lot of relevance in a developing country like India, where problems of illiteracy, traditional thinking, and closed minds require a lot of effort to bring about change and acceptance of newer thoughts. This change becomes an agent of development and progress. Conclusion. From the discussion, we can conclude that marketing as a concept has many uses. One important place where the tools of marketing can be used is for bringing about change in thinking and attitudes. Issues that are of benefit to people and society and require attention can be marketed in just as structured a way as any other product or brand, and this is what the whole concept of social marketing is. That is all in today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed. Goodbye and take care.